Hey everybody, Christine here to make a Wine and Dollies video. This will be my 5th one in this Wine and Dollies series. Now today I'm not actually having wine, although it sort of looks like it because of the container that it's in, but I'm going to be having balls. Yes, that's the name of the drink. It's an energy drink, and I'm going to need it after this video. So I was really embarrassed to make this video, and if you've watched my Wine and Dollies, I mentioned in my first video that I was going to talk to you guys about a story that I had made up a long time ago, but I was really embarrassed and didn't know if I wanted to share it with other people. But I've decided today, with Liquid Courage, which just happens to be energy drinks, that I would tell you guys this story. So you're probably like, oh my god, what is all this junk behind you? This little guy right here goes with the story of my doll, Alana. So I will get to that in a moment, but as per my usual, I usually in my Wine and Dolly show you guys the new face-ups that I've been working on and talk to you guys about what I've been doing. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will tell you guys my very personal story about Sarrcyn. So these are the 3 dolls that I have been working on, and I'll have pictures for you at the end. I forgot what I named this girl. It was an A name, that's all I know, but Alejandra, there we go. So her name is Alejandra. She is a Haru casting Magi. You put her hand down. I did her face up recently, even though the doll, when I got her second hand, already had a face up, but it didn't really resonate with me, so I figured that even though it was very pretty, I would go ahead and redo it. These 2 girls over here I actually finished today. I've been working on this doll for a long time, weeks now, and she's a Dream Valley Anne. I got her secondhand also. She is a USD. She's my second USD doll. And I know it's kind of hard to see her face. I'll have pictures at the end, but this is what her face looks like. Let's see if I can get this side. Hopefully it's showing up. Then this is what her ears look like. And her tail is black. I actually had to unstring the entire tail and look up all kinds of information on how to body blush because I was really afraid of these parts breaking or cracking or chipping. And actually, I'm pretty proud to say that I did find, I don't know where it is. I put it over there. I did find someone who told me that I could use like a specific gloss on the inside joints and also gloss it on the outside and then add MSC after, and it wouldn't chip, or at least not very much. And so far so good. I mean, I've only had it strung for 1 day, but I mean, as you see, I can move the parts around and they just very smoothly rotate without it seeming dry or anything. Geez, she looks like a hot mess right now. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Yeah, her head's a little bit floppy, but that's how I got her. Look at her. She looks like she just wants me to keep talking about her. Come on. All right. Oh, no. Why? Why? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get her back up here. There we go. I knew you could do it. And this girl, which I just finished probably half an hour ago, she doesn't have a name either, but she is a Dollies Lawn, and I got her sculpt like in January or something, and one of the eyes was too big, and then I had to ask Alice's Collections to send me another head sculpt. So they sent me another head, but not the head back. I guess they were like, well, you shouldn't get to keep both. But I don't know, whatever. It works for me because, I mean, I didn't have to send the old head back. So let's see if you can see her. And this is an alpaca wig by Milk Legs, by the way, in case you're wondering. So yeah, that's the last face up that I did. Okay, that's good enough for me. Oh, hi, Mish. Oh, I love when cats do that. I've said this before. All right, let me take a little bit more of this. So a couple things before I tell you this story. It's the only story that so far I have thought was a really, really interesting story, and somebody that I've actually shelled into a doll. So I have other stories and characters and stuff, but most of them are not shelled into any dolls. So anyway, oh, and real quick, this doll was made by me, or this stuffed animal. So like I said, its name is Sarrcyn. I've had this doll for a couple years now. I actually had another version of him, and then I re-sewed him much bigger because I wanted him to be like almost life-size, but if he was life-size, he'd be like much bigger than that. So anyway, this story is original. I did look up some information about the stuff that I added in here. So if you hear like words or names or anything like that that sound familiar, or it seems like I didn't 100% make it up, that's because I did do some research on, you know, things. So anyway, also, I'm really bad at reading when I am scared, so I'm gonna feel like I'm at school right now and I've just been called to read. And if I mess up, I'm really sorry. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna tell you the story of Sarrcyn and Alana, which this is my doll, Alana. All right. Sarrcyn. He wasn't always known by this name. I saw a glimpse of his past life in a vision. The last life before he went to the underworld. Sarrcyn was once named Eric Sanson. He was one of the executioners in France in the late 1700s. He was known for being quiet and reserved. He had to show no feeling as he used the guillotine to behead hundreds of people in his lifetime. Although he seemed to show no remorse for those whose lives he had ended, he knew that not everyone was guilty or deserving of this punishment. However, an executioner's job was not to make those kinds of decisions. Along came the day when an aristocratic woman he was secretly in love with was condemned by her husband, who ordered her to be executed by Eric himself. After the deed was done, Eric spiraled out of control. He went mad and eventually killed himself. Shortly after his death, he arrived at the underworld. He wandered through the abyss, and in time, his body transformed into a giant serpent. He was given a job in this hell as well. His task was to lie near the leafy river and eat all of the wretched souls that came past him to make them fresh for reincarnation. As a soul would pass through the serpent once known as Eric, it would be cleansed of all evil thoughts until there was nothing but a blank slate. The evil thoughts were then placed into tiny orbs, which would be stored and only used sparingly to give a small portion of sin to every human being born. He did this for hundreds of years, never forgetting the terrible thoughts he had and the burden he bared. One day, the giant serpent laid too close to the leafy river and fell in. Just so you guys know, the leafy river makes you forget stuff. Okay, great. Hi, Miaka. He forgot all of his memories, and when he rose from the river, he saw his reflection as a man again, a man with no memories of who he was or where he was. All he could see around him was pain and misery. He did not understand this world, so he wandered through it, hoping to find answers, but he didn't. Miaka, bro, come on, man. Somehow he was able to leave the underworld and found his way back to the realm he once knew as Earth. Though he did not recognize anything at all, he could feel something in him connecting him to the humans walking past him, without even noticing him. Eric could feel their sins and knew what they were. No one spoke to him. No one even looked at him. He soon realized he was invisible to the human eye. He felt what loneliness was and continued to search for something, although he didn't know what. During his travels one day, he stumbled upon a very young girl. Enter Alana. The girl was playing outside near a sidewalk. As he walked past her, he felt her gaze on him, as she then fell back and gasped. The girl whispered, "You're a snake!" Eric couldn't understand this and stopped to look around, assuming it couldn't possibly be him she was speaking to. But no one was around, and she was looking straight up at him. Why do my cats do this? "Do you have a name?" the girl asked. "I'm Alana." "Can I please?" Eric did not reply. How could he? He didn't know his name. He didn't know what or who he was. Do cats do this on purpose? I swear. He continued to stare at her with a serious, unemotional look on his face. Although Alana seemed startled to see him at first, she was clearly intrigued by his presence and continued to persist that he answer her. Eric could not use words, as he forgot how, but somehow managed to connect with her in another way. Alana clenched her chest sadly and said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know. Do you? Well, I'll call you Sarrcyn from now on." Where'd she get this name from? I don't know. A bond had clearly been made between them in a short moment. Since then, he never left her side, protecting her from all the evil thoughts that surrounded her. Sadly, neither one of them realized what Sarrcyn's body was capable of on Earth. So this is a story that is very close to me because, in a way, I feel like I'm Alana. And I've mentioned this before, that Alana, my character, is kind of like my daughter, but she's also kind of like me. So, you know, I like to believe that there's other forces in the world. And sometimes I feel like I have really, really bad luck. And that hasn't been the case since I got married to Leonard, my husband. But I still feel like sometimes I have bad luck. And back in the day, I had really bad luck. So I fabricated this creature that must be bringing me bad luck. And from that, I kind of made this whole story, and I even just a little bit believe it. And I know that sounds kind of weird, and you know, maybe I'm gonna get some dislikes for making up this creature, but I don't know. It gave me peace, and for a long time I felt like someone was watching over me, even if that creature wasn't, you know, the typical guardian angel that people expect others to have. So that's why I was really embarrassed to tell you guys this story, because, you know, it's unconventional and very strange. But I guess if you watch my channel, you probably know that I am very strange, right? So yeah, that's my story. And I mean, there's other stuff in it, but that's the beginning and middle-ish version of it. So it's kind of like continuing, but I did want to share it with you guys, and you're welcome to tell me what you think about it, but please be nice, because, you know, like it is, you know, it's part of me. So anyway, now moving on, I'm gonna take more drinks, and now that my other jealous cat has walked away, the only reason why she was clawing all over me is because she saw that my blind cat is on top of me. Maybe I could actually read the pieces of paper in front of me. So, what I've been doing, as you already know, I've been working on face-ups, which are why I have those 3 dolls behind me. Those are the ones I've been working on. I've also been going to the gym. So again, I'm on my summer vacation. I don't start school for another 2 weeks. Well, excuse me, work, which is school because I'm a teacher. So I don't really have much to do other than face-ups and, you know, try to make myself do something like watch movies or go to the gym or whatever. So I did order some new dolls. I don't think that I mentioned these in the previous video, even though I think I had ordered 2 of them when I made my previous video. But I ordered a Kid Sky Moonstone, and I ordered a Dika doll Peony Lion. That's the name of it. And I also ordered a Cooler, I don't know how to pronounce it, Cooler Theory Airy. And if you know about Cooler and her dolls, there's been this humongous issue with the last pre-order that she did, and a bunch of people got their orders canceled, and I felt terrible about that. My order was not canceled, so she did refund a partial, like $23 or something, and it was like the taxes that she had charged, but I still have my doll, so we'll see when I get it. I'm sure I'm going to be waiting a long time. But the other dolls, I think they're like going to come in like 2 or 3 months. I've been trying to come up with doll stories for, you know, like the 30 dolls or whatever I have, but I don't want to force it. So some of them have stories because they're already stories that I had come up with, like the one behind me. But most of them probably aren't going to have stories. And that's just it. So my plans for the future, I'm going to continue finishing face-ups. I still have 3 dolls, maybe more, that need face-ups from, you know, my previous purchases, and I'll probably need a bunch more soon. So yeah. And what else? I have to get ready for work in 2 weeks, so I'll be going back to school, which means I won't have as much time to make cool videos, but you know, it's the job of the teacher. So I'll probably be making a video on how I bring my dolls to work and what kids say about that. There are a lot of things. There actually might be some of my students watching this video right now, previous students, shall I say. But anyway, and then I mentioned in my last Wine and Dollies episode 4 that I'm going to be taking my dolls out more often. And I don't just mean to work, because I did that all the time before. But I mean like to places. Places. We'll see how that goes. So, that's it for my Wine and Dollies. And I'm incredibly embarrassed, but hopefully you guys accept, you know, my story and my weirdness. And yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody.